I'm Lily Pillette, and today I'm getting run through by 100 guys.
You beg your pardon? 100 guys? The Spartans had 300 and they defeated an entire empire 2,500 years later, and you got guys out here lining up for 5 minutes of action with a corn star? If Leonidas was out here today, he'd be bopping to K-Dot. They not like us.
People call me anything. Star, escort, OnlyFans girl, anything really. I don't really care. It's not like it bothers me.
6 men sat anxiously on a sofa, waiting for their turn to have sex with Lily.
Hello.
Hello, how are you feeling?
Nervous, no, excited. It was hard. It's kind of like being a prostitute in a sense of one in, one out, like it feels intense.
Like more intense than you thought it might?
Definitely.
Sorry. It's okay.
I'm just worried about the smell for you.
The smell?
Yeah, I feel like the smell will be bad.
What does it smell like?
Like brace yourself. Brace yourself.
Oh, holy shit.
I guess it... You actually can. Is that real?
Yeah, he's not good with smells.
Now that's tough to watch. It's like watching someone harm themselves, but instead of helping them, we're pushing them even further. At the end of the day, that's someone's daughter. Like, someone once cared for that as a toddler, as precious as a gem, and now it's just covered in dirt.
Living in London, who describes herself as an English was planning on hosting an event where she would sleep with 100 of her fans in a single day.
How did you get into doing this for a career?
Well, I started when I was at university. Very, very tame stuff. Hand bras, underwear, things like that. Because I was at university, I was like, I'm being a anyway, could make a little bit of money.
What do you mean by you were being a anyway?
Like, I was just being a at university. Like, I was just sleeping around with everyone.
But I feel like I know of a lot of girls who have done that at university but then haven't gone on to become OnlyFans stars.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I just was like already very, not proud, like very just okay with doing that. Like I've just always had quite like a sexual nature.
Yeah.
I just thought I might just make like a couple £100, can get a few rounds of drinks in, stuff like that. Just helps me out a little bit while I'm at university.
Sure.
I didn't think it would turn into like my whole career. But I think as soon as I started on the platform, I kind of realised, I guess, how much money you can make and also just how much I loved it. I was just like, why am I doing a whole degree? Last week I was like 23 guys all at once, and like some people would be like, you're insane, like I would have to be paid to do that. And I'm like, no, that's just fun to me.
She seems to be suffering from a very serious disease called Hosephilus. If 2020 had COVID, well, 2025 has Hosey. It's a virulent disease targeting women in their whole phase, ranging from ages 20 to 30, particularly susceptible to catching the virus during ovulation. Symptoms are heightened libido and unrestrained eroticism, leading the infected to a self-destructive path of licentiousness, lasting for up to 10 to 15 years before subsiding. The end stage is commonly referred to as hitting the wall. This phenomenon is known as myositis or psychogenic illness, which involves the spread of illness symptoms throughout a population where there is no infectious agent responsible for contagion. It is the rapid spread of illness signs and symptoms affecting members of a cohesive group, originating from a nervous system disturbance involving excitation, loss, or alteration of function, whereby physical complaints that are exhibited have no corresponding organic causes that are known. Spread through social media and activated through psychological stimulus, the infected becomes hypnotized to its sexual desires. It's just sad to see how the world breaks people and destroy their self-worth. I mean, it's going to be a tough life ahead of her because she's still so high in the tension of it all. She fails to see that she's walking herself right off a cliff, and we're all just stood here watching her do it. I mean, you've read this story so many times. You know exactly how it all ends, and it's not going to have a happy ending.
Before I had sex, I was never much for... I actually wanted to wait till marriage at one point. I just used to think it was a real special thing. As soon as I actually did it and had, I kind of realised that it wasn't special, and also that I just really loved it and really enjoyed it, and that I wanted to do it way more often.
And do you think your partner one day will be someone from the industry most likely, or?
Yeah, I talk about this a lot with my parents because that's the one thing I guess they worry about is like, will you ever find a boyfriend?
Yeah.
But there's so many guys out in the world. I think you know, one poor bastard's got to marry me. I rather think it's going to be someone from the industry or someone who is into lending me out.
Lending you out?
Yeah. Like into hot wife or being a...
The compromise you make for promiscuity is that you'll never get what you want, and you'll forever have to settle with whatever you get. And the further you go down this road, the less you see of what you want. I mean, the Mr. Right you've been looking for was in the block before. So building a family of your own becomes extremely difficult and almost impossible, especially to maintain a happy and good one. It's tough. But before we think ahead, let's look at her family now. Let's see what her parents think of this.
I've seen you say on podcasts and things before that your family and your parents are proud of you and what you've achieved.
Well, my parents knew straight from the start, like, about what I was doing. Yeah, I was just very open with it. Obviously, at the start, they were a bit apprehensive because they want me to be safe and they want me to make good decisions and stuff like that.
Have you, like, recognised any of the names in here of people that you might know?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's been some guys like outwardly say like we used to go to school together.
Wow.
Or some of like dad's friends and stuff like that.
What, messaging you?
Yeah. I remember my dad saying like my friends talked about you, like seeing you on mobile, something like that. And they know, but like there's just no point in being like, oh, you know, I'm doing this or doing that.
Yeah. You've obviously spoken to your parents about this, right?
I actually haven't. My parents know what I do, but I'm not on the phone to them every day going, oh, you know, I just got DP'd, I'm 17 guys today, or this and that. They don't need to know the logistics.
Of course.
I do feel a little bit like embarrassed being like, Mom and Dad, I'm 100 guys.
Why?
I guess because it's not really what my parents would have wanted me to do. Doesn't mean to say my parents are like going to disown me or hate me or anything like that. I just don't want them to think less of me, you know? Like we can still be like very close and stuff like that, but I just don't think they need to know like exactly every single detail.
Yeah. But they'll find out, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. This is the thing I think with like my like career and stuff like that. We're not sat here talking about, oh, I filmed this with us today or, you know, I filmed this because there's just no need.
It's so important to have parents in your life because as children, we're born to wander off. We're born to rebel somewhat, one way or another. We're destined to kind of go off the rails every now and then, especially in our adolescence. As we find our way through life, we want to test and try a little bit of something, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything, but only if it doesn't leave us with nothing. And that's the job of parents. Good parents will protect you. They'll cater to you. They will guide you. They will protect you from yourselves when you go too far, and they will guide you in times when you get lost. And what I've realized over the years through my own mistakes is that tough love is what it takes to live a soft life, and that you have to be very careful and strict with your life and how you live it, and to do everything the right way as much as you can so that you can have a happy life. And anything else that falls short of that leaves you in misery. And you don't really want to be spending your life miserable and regretting every decision you've made. Regret is a slow poison that will eventually kill you.
Are there days where you second guess it ever?
Not particularly. There are days where I'm sat here on a Sunday, I am feeling a little bit more lonely. My friends have all got boyfriends. And I'm like, you know, I see a comment and people are like, God, no one's ever going to marry you or something like that. And that can definitely like make me feel a little bit like, oh God, have I chose the wrong career? But like, I just totally love my job. But just like people talking about your body constantly, how you look, every day someone like picking at you. I think that's the hard part. And also just the pure fact that people think so much less of you.
Yeah.
Before anyone ever meets you, they already perceive you to be something. I think now I'd find it hard to make friends in terms of like real friends that really just see me for who I am and not like, gosh, like porn star online, whatever, this kind of like persona.
Yeah.
Also just like all of social media, like everyone is preying on your downfall. Banks don't allow you to bank with them. your Instagram's trying to get shut down. Like, you know, it's just like the little things that's just like, no one likes what you do. And everyone just thinks less of you, basically.
Traumatic events in life is like a nuclear detonation. It has a half-life, and a half-life is the time it takes for the harm and impact to subdue and decrease in its value to get back to normalcy. And secondly, the fallout. The fallout is the radius or the area it affects. And in this case, this is equivalent to the people affected by this event. The fallout of this event would be the people directly affected from Lily's actions. And the half-life is how long will Lily suffer the consequences of this event? How long will her actions affect her life? Now, we know that the fallout will be her parents, her friends, her family, her future relationships. All of that will be affected directly from this, and her promiscuity and all her actions leading up to this. Because as she mentioned, she doesn't really care about what other people think of her. So she cares mainly about her family. She has her priorities right. She's just going in the wrong direction. And the half-life of this is how long will she have to suffer and deal with all of this trauma? Because we don't know. Only she does. But she's not to blame for all of this. Because to me, this wouldn't even happen in the first place if she didn't have 100 men that would allow her to do this. There's a quote I want you to remember. For evil to rise, all it takes is for good to rest. Meaning that the world would not be flooded with evil only if the good men stood up for what is right. And those who sit on the fence, they don't do nothing good neither. Being passive about everything still allows things to pass through. I mean, the modern society caters to the degradation and demasculinization of men, but fail to realize that eliminating the strong man that is willing to stand up for what is right allows the weaker men to come through and prey on vulnerable women.
One of the men participating agreed to speak with us after having spent his allotted 5 minutes with Lily. He had flown in from Switzerland just for this.
So I came last night and I'm leaving basically after. I went for the authentic experience.
Okay.
I had pie.
Pie,
Yeah,
British
in the
pie,
pub,
pie
yeah.
and mash.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course, the authentic British experience. Fish and chips, London Bridge, the Big Ben, and of course, bonking Lily Phillips. How could you forget about that?
How long have you known or been a fan of Lily Phillips?
Since the beginning, I would say.
Did you ever think you'd be able to have sex with her?
No, never.
And today you did?
Yes.
Were you nervous this morning going in there?
Yes, especially when I saw all the guys, the cute.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was definitely nervous.
Were you worried that maybe some of the other guys aren't going to get an STI check? Or?
A little bit, but also I think the risk for the guys is maybe less high than for her. This has to be the most expensive shag ever.
Really?
Yeah.
How much?
200 to get tested, 250 for the flight, maybe 800.
800 pounds, and worth it?
Yes, without a doubt.
Having had their IDs checked and release forms signed in order to allow publication on OnlyFans, 6 men sat anxiously on a sofa waiting for their turn to have sex with Lily.
Yeah, I came last night, yeah.
I came to last night after work.
Oh, guys, we are running behind.
Got in at 6 o'clock this morning.
Oh my god.
I mean, this one's extremely skimpy, so I'm sure he'll like that.
Okay, well good luck.
Thank you.
All the best. Is it that you're going to get him to eat his own semen?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
You ready to be my pathetic little loser for the next 3 minutes? Well done, thanks for being my loser. Bye.
We always want what we can't get until we get it and realize it's not all what it's cracked up to be. That it was way better as an idea than it is as a reality.
She's been in there all day,
Yeah.
and we've just like chucked her in the shower and like, she's exhausted. She's like, the first thing she said was like, I need a Nando's. I was like,
You've earned a Nando's.
Yeah, the Nando's is ordered. She's took it like a champ. She's done so well. Every time I've said, are you okay? Do you need a breather? She's like, no, bring the next guy in.
Seeing 100 guys come to have sex with Lily in one day, was that like something that obviously...
That part didn't feel too intense. It was more checking in on Lily felt intense.
Yeah.
Lily offered to show me the aftermath of their stunt.
Oh, it stinks.
What does it smell like?
Like brace yourself. Brace yourself.
Oh, holy shit.
I guess it. You actually can. Is that real?
Yeah, he's not good with smells.
Lily then walked us through the process that she had repeated 100 times that day.
Come on in, make yourself at home, take your shoes off. I've got some hangers here if you want to put your coat up.
Nice.
Come on in, where you travel from today? Oh, lovely. Yeah, oh, it's so nice to meet you. I'll get you on the bed, make yourself comfortable, take off your trousers, and we're going to have a fun time. And then I'll give them the phone camera. I'll just say, I'm guessing you don't want your face in it.
Yeah.
And if they don't, it'll be POV phone camera.
Yeah.
I'll start usually with a and then I'd say, like, is there anything you like, don't like, any certain position you want to do?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we kind of got straight into it.
Did you do the with a condom on or?
No.
No.
I didn't. Condom off.
Okay, but then like once they're having sex and it's like condom on type thing.
Yeah.
It does smell a lot like sex. I mean, and there's rose. That's nice. Did one of the guys?
Rose.
And how are you feeling?
Surprisingly, downstairs is not really sore.
Okay.
It's more just tired. My eyes sting like nothing else.
Why?
Because of all the cum in it. I think I repeatedly said, you can come on my face, but not in my eye.
And they just went right at the eyes.
Well, I think like it might have been an accident. But no, I mean, I've definitely seen some spunk today, Jesus. And it just took definitely a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I think it was when it was only like 40 and I was like, I'm not even halfway yet.
Yeah.
And 40 is still a lot of people. Like, imagine 40 people and be like, I'm not even halfway, like, done.
When was the last time you ate?
I had I think I had a yam yam. Yam yam, is that what they're called? A little pastry. And I think I had a sandwich and that was kind of, and then the rest come. It's not for the weak, girls, if I'm honest. It was hard. I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Why not?
I think if you're a different type of girl, it's very like, it's kind of like being a prostitute in a sense of like, it's just a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it, like.
It's not like just having sex with someone.
Yeah. Just one in, one out, like it feels intense.
Like more intense than you thought it might.
Definitely.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Just take
yeah, 1 minute. I think I was you know when I talked to you last, like I was not nervous. It was like the day before I was like, oh, I'm so nervous. But it was good. It was more, I guess the interactions when like, I'd have to stop them early and like, you'd have to stand on business and be like, I'm so sorry, you got to go. And like the awkward interaction of like, you feeling pressure to have to make them come if like you haven't spent enough time with them and feeling like you didn't give them a good time because like they only got 2 minutes.
And that's what's making you feel emotional, is that maybe you think you didn't give some guys a good enough time today?
Yeah, and it's hard, I think, having the interactions with them when they're like, what, you're not going to make me finish? I've come all this way. Like, kind of like guilt tripping me a little bit. I felt bad, like some people just travel so far, like I didn't want to give them a shit time and like come away from this and be like, oh, that was shit. I think sometimes like feeling so like robotic, like by I think like the 30th, you know, like when we're getting on a bit, I've got like a routine of like how we're gonna do this, and like it just, sometimes you'd like disassociate and be like, you know, like it's not like normal sex at all. In my head right now, I can think of like 5, 6 guys, 10 guys that I remember, and that's it. But it's just, I don't know, it's just weird, isn't it? Like, if I didn't have the videos, I wouldn't have known I've done 100, you know? But yeah. I think that was kind of the hard part, is like conversing with them, and like when they'd kind of be like, oh, like we've only had 2 minutes or 3 minutes and you said 5 on the message.
Did someone say that to you?
Yeah. And obviously it just makes me feel so bad.
Do you think you should feel bad about that?
I guess when you've promised something to people who support you, it's kind of hard to let them down.
But it's up to you, right? Like when you know.
Yeah.
Have you even processed, do you think, what's happened?
Not yet. God, I won't forget this day, Jesus.
When I decided to start making this documentary, I wasn't too sure of what to expect. I certainly didn't expect to see Lily so upset at the end of it all. I thought perhaps in years to come she may look back at this day in sadness, but not so instantly afterwards. She had stressed to me throughout my time with her how excited she was for this challenge and how this was her fantasy, so to see her so visibly upset at the end of it all was really sad.
Nothing's gonna hit you as hard as a good old-fashioned reality check. And sometimes really that's all we need. Someone to just tell us like, yo, you gotta get yourself right. That you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. And none of us would really know this better than someone who is in the industry. Someone who's been there, done that, and is suffering the consequences right now. So let's take a deeper look so we can have a clearer understanding of how it affects the mental health coming from someone that is within the same industry.
I thought it might be helpful to hear the perspective of another OnlyFans creator, so I reached out to Alex Letitia, also known as the Queen of Southampton.
Basically, I went into OnlyFans because we were really, really broke. It was really last resort. I had never, ever sent anyone a nude prior to this ever in my life. So I was so naive going into it. I started off just doing bikini pictures and lingerie, but it is a slippery slope and the demand is more. Before you know it, you're having sex on camera.
And is that something you regret?
There's a lot I regret on there.
Do you feel scared that you might ever have to start doing things you don't want to do in order to keep that money coming in?
It is scary, yeah, because people are starting to do the most outrageous things online. I've seen so much of it lately, and I think my daughter's already getting stick for what I do. And like I said, I don't really do anything controversial compared to all these other girls. And it just keeps being like leveled up and up and up of the expectations.
Well, on Saturday, I'm going to another OnlyFans creator, Lily Phillips, is planning to sleep with 100 men in a single day for OnlyFans content. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's really sad. I just worry about her mental health. I'm hoping it's a hoax and it's not gonna actually happen. I don't know. From what I've seen of her, I think she's like young and beautiful. I don't think she has to sleep with 100 guys in one day for attention. I don't know. It's like medically, is she going to be in a lot of pain? Mentally, you're going to be known as the girl that shot 100 guys in one day, and I think that's really sad. The problem is that when you sign up to objectifying yourself, it's like you're signing a deal with the devil. Like no one is going to see you as a human being. It gets to the point where everyone objectifies you. That's the reality of it. You're like the cash cow.
Do you think the kind of thing Lily's doing this weekend is the future of OnlyFans?
I hope it isn't, but we keep seeing so many sort of outrageous stunts. Maybe people assume they have to do that in order to get attention and followers. So it is just going to have to get more outrageous, which is quite scary if you think about it.
As she announced to her fans that in February of 2025, she would be sleeping with 1,000 men in a single day to break the world record.
Last week I did 101 guys. Now this was just the warm-up because in February I'm going to be the first person ever to reach 4 digits of guys all in one day. Yes, 1,000 guys.
Maybe what we witnessed that night was just someone overwhelmed with emotion after completing such a monumental challenge. Or maybe we saw the true toll this career can have on a person.
So the cost of this event is her mental health, but is the risk worth the reward? I mean, is the deal with the devil good enough?
Lily agreed to show me the business side of her operation. OnlyFans might be what she enjoys, but it also provides a hefty paycheck.
I'll show you my first month. $13,338.
And can you give us like any indication as to what a more recent month might look like?
I'll just show you. I don't really want to say if that's okay.
I think it's more money than you might be imagining. And you made me pay for the cab. So you say you're going to do some work today. Like, how are you going to decide what to film this afternoon?
I usually am going to prioritize my customs.
Like, they've paid for like a customized request?
Yeah, customized request that maybe I say their name in it or something that they're really into that I don't have already. Sin, what you're up to. Sometimes it's just general conversation. Like, sometimes guys just want to talk.
Have you like recognized any of the names in here of people that you might know?
Oh yeah, definitely. Say, like, we used to go to school together.
Wow.
Or some of like dad's friends and stuff like that.
What messaging you?
Yeah. I just tried to keep it very professional.
Your version of keeping it professional is sort of the opposite of everyone else's version of keeping it professional?
Yeah.
Like finances and money, life is all about the investments we make. But in the end, the only thing we get to take from life are the memories we make. It's the only thing we get to keep, that we get to say is purely and entirely ours. Everything else fades. Your body will rot once you die. Money loses its value. Gold can be hidden. Time is always passing us by. People come and go, and nations rise and fall. Nothing in this life is permanent. Nothing stays, but our memories are the only things that last. So the only way to make our existence on earth worthwhile is to live a fulfilled life. And fulfillment comes from experiences. And the best experience in life is love. To know that you have been loved, to experience what it means to live in someone's heart. That's the only way we get to live on forever. And if not, we fade, just like dust in the wind. So make sure you make the most of this life. This one life you've got. You've only got one chance. No second chances. So make sure you live it right. And remember, the best things in life are found in one. So reach for your dreams and rise to the top. Hope you like this episode of The Third Eye. I hope it somewhat edifies you and helps you see the world in a clearer light. This is 30. See you in the next one.